When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world.
I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings.
Hi.
You're watching SeptumSin versus the world. I'm SeptumSin. I'm here with Kotobuki Jake, and we're here to show you what we got.
Yes.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
All right. So, who started last week? Was that me or you?
I think it was you, but don't trust my memory.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Show me what you got this time.
Okay. So the first thing I got is one that I picked up very recently at Walmart. They had, if I remember correctly, I think they had a 388 bin or something like that, like a they actually had a handful of Blu-rays mixed into the cheap bin. And there were a couple I wanted to get, and I may have to go back and see if they still have them. But the one I did get is a movie I've not yet seen, but I really want to. I loved the first movie, and I really want to see it. Well, I have the first movie and need to watch my copy. But I got the second movie in the series, Now You See Me 2. Which...
Hold on. Okay.
Hey, so Now You See Me 2... which reteams most of the original cast. You got Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Morgan Freeman. I want to say Mark Ruffalo was in the first one. Do you remember? And I could be remembering this wrong, but I believe Lizzie Kaplan is a recast. Because I want to say it was Ela Fisher that was in the first one.
Yeah, I don't think it was the same person.
Well, it definitely wasn't the same. I'm saying she's either recast or she's a new character. But I think she was recast. And I hate when people recast. But I like Lizzie Kaplan, so she's cool. And, of course, this one also introduces to the cast Daniel Radcliffe. Michael Caine reprises his role as well. And you got Dave Franco. I want to say Dave Franco starred in the original. I need to see the original again, obviously. But still, that's a hell of a cast. And the first movie was a lot of fun. It was really good. I have not seen this one, but I've heard good reports about it. So I'm very much looking forward to this. And maybe sometime soon I'll be able to... I might even do two of them as a movie night, like as a twofer. If I can find time. Yeah. But we'll see.
Well, I'm going to be starting off strong.
Yeah.
From the Criterion collection.
A film I really need to see.
And that is Les Samurai.
Yeah.
I actually don't know much about this, but I have been interested in it for a while. 1960s film, Jean-Pierre Melville. And... again, I don't know a lot about this.
Pretty good set of bonus features on that.
But yeah, there's a lot of bonus features. But again, 1967. Yeah. It's not like last year or something where you can't get a hold of that many.
Yeah.
So, yeah, of course it's going to be an awesome looking set. I look forward to it just as I do a lot of the Criterions I had. I got to see a Criterion this week. But I'll be talking about that if you stay tuned to the vlogcast.
Woohoo!
Alright, what else you got for us?
Alright, so I'm going to return to the well of that big Sentai order from back in the fall.
Deep well.
But, yeah, it is. These are going to represent probably a significant uptick in importance and quality from last week, which is not too hard, but still. The first one is a short OVA from back in the day, and it looks like it's from back in the day. It's Ruin Explorers Femme and Irie.
Yeah, it is back in the day.
And this looks like, from what I understand, you've seen it, right?
Yep.
I've not seen this. I'm guessing it's basically a swords and sorcery kind of,
I've got that
Slayers
version.
type series. Sort of it's an action adventure series.
Adventure time.
Yeah. But I've heard decent things about it. It definitely looks a lot of fun, and it's short. So even if it's not a lot of fun, it's not going to take up a huge amount of time. Of course, it's an R, so God knows when I'll ever get to it, but I have something to look forward to eventually.
Alright, so my next one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been working on something with Inside Movies Galore, and that is silent films.
Yeah, Envy, that's it.
And who has more than enough silent films? And that was Edison. Edison is one of the film pioneers. There are actually a few really good ones on here. Some of the very first films ever taken. And famous ones like The Great Train Robbery.
You see right there, 1891 to 1918.
Yes. And the films, you can see how it evolves. By the time you get to the later films, like towards the time of World War I, and you could tell when the war happened because they skipped a year in production. But this was one of those things where you had a lot more like short reels, mainly just experiments, and then it moved into little serials, which that to me is really cool. There was a World War I film on here, which was probably one of the first war films that you could see. And I mean, I guess unless you count Birth of a Nation.
Actually, doesn't that predate
No,
Birth of a Nation?
It was 1917, so no.
Yeah, so it's a couple years later. Okay.
And that one covered World War I, which was very, very fresh. I mean, it had just ended. So very fresh in the world's minds. They had San Francisco earthquake. And just in general, seeing things like New York in the 1890s, that is just a treat. It's something you don't see in moving pictures. So,
well, you see it recreated all the time, but yeah, seeing the actual thing's a little different.
Kino routinely has sales on these. I would wait for one, because it is relatively expensive otherwise. But do yourself a favor and check this out. It does not have the Frankenstein film that he did. I had to look that up on YouTube.
All right.
Yep.
My go?
Your go.
All right. And this one, I'm not sure if this is a high-quality series, but it's a high-profile series from Sentai that I wanted for a while, and I finally got. Rosen Maiden.
Ah, very good.
And this does include the original 12-episode series, Rosen Maiden Traumend, which is the second series, and Rosen Maiden Overture, which is a 2-episode OVA. Ooh. So, 26 episodes? Not bad.
Not bad.
It doesn't include Jurek Spulin. Is that the only remaining part of the franchise?
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to see that eventually. This is one I want to see. I've heard mixed things, but mostly positive.
The main story is really good. Yeah. The offshoot story, which is the one that's separate from that, is not as...
Okay. But again, it'll be forever before I get to watch this. But it's there. It's waiting. It'll be there one day. But basically, it's about a dude that gets a live doll, as I understand correctly. And the dolls are embroiled in some battle to become sort of like a reverse sex Pinocchio sort of thing, isn't it? Battle Royale meets Pinocchio, from what I understand.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Angelic Lair in a way, because you've got these that are fighting, or Sekiri. That's a good one.
Oh yes, that's a good one. Yeah, I just finished Angelic Lair and Sekiri. I'm also seeing the first series, so if it's in the same vein as those, it should be quite enjoyable. Yeah.
So this next one is in a film series that you might see at least another one for, and that is the Anaconda series. So what we have here is Anaconda's The Hunt for the Blood Orchid.
Ooh.
Now, I've actually seen this one. I've seen now 2 of the Anaconda's films. I've seen Anaconda and this one. I think it's the second one in the series. And, again, it wasn't bad. I actually like this one better than the original one. Now, is it a fake snake? Yes. Does it look fake? God, yes. But still, fun for everyone. If you like those types of monsters eats things, go for it.
Good times. All right, and my last two will represent the last of my purchases from the July sales.
Woo!
Oh, yes. Man, they were deadly. All these sales right at the same time. I only got to do a single Right Stuff order, and it was literally at the tail end of the month, and it was very small.
But what an order.
But it is a good order. I'm looking forward to it. And this one, the issue with viewing this is that I still don't have the first series, but I had the final volume, and now I have the second series. I just need to get hold of the first series or borrow yours. But I finally got season 2 of Aria. Specifically, Aria the Natural. And this is a series that I've never seen, but I've been wanting to see for a while. It's not a top-ranked series, but it's got a good reputation overall. Pied Piper recently did a Kickstarter campaign to get the show re-released on Blu-ray. I'm not paying that kind of money for this series, but yeah, this is the original series, the animation, which I still need to get. But this is the original packaging, and this is the kind of package I have for the fourth volume, I mean. But these are just basic lightbox packages, but in a way, I like that because it doesn't take up a huge amount of space. Oh, yeah. And they're still nice looking sets. This is a show I've been sitting on go for a long... I've had that final volume for like 3 years now, and I was too cheap. I was able to get these for $25 total. They actually came down to $12.50 per, which is by far the cheapest I've ever seen this series. So the only reason I didn't get the first one this go round is that it was not on sale.
Yeah.
So one of these days I'll get that one. But I'm very happy to finally have this part of it. And I will launch into this one sooner than later. Mm-hmm. I'm now this much closer to being able to do that without borrowing the whole thing.
Alright, so second to last for me. Mm-hmm. So I actually fell into the trap of, oh, by the way, this is going to be the cheapest you're ever going to get this. So I finally decided I would get to collecting Fist of the North Star. So, of course, I start with a cheap one. Mm-hmm. DD Fist of the North Star, which is a little chibi version, comedy version of Fist of the North Star. Mm-hmm. If anybody is knowledgeable of Fist of the North Star, I've actually started looking at it through the live-action movie, which I will eventually get. To me, it was about a martial artist that blows up people's heads. Which is essentially the whole gist of it. He's a really tough guy, and he has this technique where he make your head explode. And I'm not sure how that works out in this, but it's in a post-apocalyptic setting. I'm not as familiar with the anime at all, so I am looking forward to diving in. It's considered a classic, not this.
It's probably going to look like Dokuro-chan, where, it's just like... Pss, 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 pss.
So, that is not all, but most all.
You're good? Alright, my last one. This is the reason why I had to do that Right Stuff order. I mean, this I didn't want to pass up. And there was some other stuff I really didn't want to pass up. From Nozomi Lucky Penny, the other one that I did have to miss was they also had a price of $12.50 for Princess Nine, which is a really good price for that series. And there were some NIS ones I still needed to get and some other stuff. But the other one that I had to jump on because I really, 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 really wanted it, and it was about $15 cheaper than I had ever seen it offered, is a series that we have mentioned previously on this channel, and that is the series Death Parade. I got the limited edition set. This is the second Funimation set I've gotten that opens in the middle, which Your Name did that, and I'm not sure that was really necessary. But here it's perfect because it's an elevator, so obviously it should open in the middle. But the elevator, I think we've talked about this show, but just to revisit briefly, the series is set in a bar. And the main character, Dekim, is the bartender. He has an assistant who's only known as Ona. And in each episode, various people show up in the bar and are basically forced to play a game that's chosen at random. But you come to realize pretty quickly, and these people, of course, each realize, usually a little too late, that they are dead. They are in a way station to the afterlife, and Dekim is a judge whose purpose is to determine if they are going in the elevator that goes up to resurrection or the one that goes down into the void. And this fits with the theme of resurrection versus the void, not heaven and hell, but the same basic thing. He has to judge, and Ona helps him judge what these people require. And there are various other recurring characters who either have the same or similar jobs, or they're related to his job or whatever. And the series is also notable for a couple of things. One, well, I saw this just after watching Hellgirl, and it reminded me a lot of Hellgirl, and I love the idea of a dark sort of an exploration of human nature and that sort of thing. But the two notable things, one, it's freaking gorgeous. Have you watched it yet? The production values are phenomenal. The backgrounds, the character designs, it's freaking gorgeous. And the other thing is the opening theme by Bradio is a straight up neo swing, tons of big band horns, and it's one of the most catchy theme songs ever. I swear, if you watch this series, you'll be humming the theme for the next month. It doesn't fully fit the show, but on the other hand, it's a great way to start each episode. And Bradio also did a really fun music video for the song, so it's worth checking out. But I love this. I actually watched this on streaming, so I really wanted it, but I really wanted the limited edition. I ended up getting it for $35, which for a Funimation limited edition is not a bad price. So it's a lot less than I paid for Your Name. So definitely thrilled to have that one.
Well, my last is pretty simple. It's an offshoot of Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? There are three releases for this.
I need to get this.
There's the main series, there's the OVA, and then there's this one, sort of an offshoot, which is Sword Oratoria. Oratoria. Okay, let's see. Yes, let's see. So, this one, oddly enough, I got 3 weeks before it came out officially. And I kept looking at it because we kept covering it. I'm like, but I have it already. Why is it still saying it's coming out in a few weeks? But oddly enough, since I had pre-ordered it, it come to me early. I don't know much about the series, but it looks fun. Standard harem, and I got no problem with the standard harem if it's done right.
I still need to see this franchise. I've heard good things about it. It's got a good...
I've learned that there are rights and wrongs with harem series. Oni being a very bad experience. But Oni was so bad I had to get rid of it. And I did not want it in my collection. Cat Planet Cuties, I got rid of as well.
I liked that one. I thought you said you were more bored by that one.
I was more bored by that one.
I liked
Cat
Planet
Cuties. One I just
Cuties. That was fun.
I didn't feel needed to be in my collection. But Oni, I just expelled that evil thing. So, and I gave it to George. But with that being said, please like, subscribe, share, and of course comment. What have you picked up this week?
This was a shockingly short pickup.
I mean, did you pick up anything fun?
Yeah.
I mean, we picked up some fun stuff. Tell me what you liked about it. Have you seen any of these recently? Is there something great in this? Have you looked at the Thomas Edison collection? Well, we'll hopefully see you in the comments. But we will see you on the next one. Take care.
Goodbye.